Dave.
Yeah, why are you wearing a mop top wig right now?
We're traveling today. We're traveling to Liverpool today, Dave. We're talking to two lads about one of my favorite subjects, the Beatles. But before we're done, we'll be in the Cavern Club.
Okay.
It's time for Minutia Men Celebrity Interview.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is the Minutia Men Celebrity Interview with Rick and Dave.
So, as I mentioned, Dave, these guys are native Liverpudlians. Meet Joe Patrick and Max Robinson, two of the members of the Beatles Complete, which is the Beatles tribute band that plays every week at the Cavern Club in Liverpool. Joe's the bass player. Max is the lead guitarist. In other words, they're Paul and George in the band. Hello, lads. How are you?
Lads. How are you, lads?
Hello, guys.
So I mentioned that
we're great, yeah.
I mentioned that you're both from Liverpool. Right there, that has to help with the Beatles sound. I mean, the tribute artists here in America, they've got to fake the accents.
Right. Your guys are faking it great. You guys sound perfect.
Yeah, I guess it does help. There's always a bit of accenting going on here and there to make it that bit more believable, but yeah, it does help.
Oh, so you're saying that you do add some accent to your when you're up there just to be more Liverpudlian?
Yeah.
Well, go on. I'm sorry.
I was going to say nowadays the Scouse accents change quite a lot from what it was when the Beatles were around, so try and make it more era appropriate. You do a bit of research and a bit of mod tweaking.
Okay, do the interview in the do the rest of this interview in the accented. Really go over the top, would you?
Well, we're gonna have to charge you for that.
Yeah.
You guys are actually quite young, right? How old are you guys?
Yeah, we're ages 17 to 21. That's our age range in the band. I'm the youngest at 17, and then our oldest two are now 21.
I'm 20.
And he's 20, yeah.
So that's basically the age that the Beatles were themselves when they played there.
Yeah, close enough.
So when you play When I'm 64, we're getting there. So
Yeah.
it's living or growing up in Liverpool, I would imagine, and I've never been. Rick's been to Liverpool. The whole city is still Beatle-esque, right? I mean, it's really. Give us an idea of how important the band really is to the city.
Yeah, it's like every corner in Liverpool, there's something Beatles related, which is great to see. And it's such a great tourist attraction. You've got obviously the Cavern, the Beatles Story Museum, the Magical Mystery Tour, which takes you all around the different locations in Liverpool. But it's just great that it's still so strong, all these years on.
Yeah, it is. As a Beatles fan, it's like a mecca to go there because everything is there. Now you guys play at the Cavern Club on Thursdays and Saturdays, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And it's a world famous club because it's where the Beatles got their start. But it's not literally the same building, is it?
It's built out of all the original bricks. It's basically in the same place. And it's got the main thing is it still has that vibe, that atmosphere that there was back then. There's still loads of people jam-packed in, dancing, singing along, and it is just a great place.
And they're all in black and white too, right? Yeah, because all the footage I see is black and white.
As soon as you step down the stairs and go through the door, there's just like a black and white filter, just paid a lot of money for that.
I bet.
I've got a quick question. So you guys are young. Was it your parents are maybe even too young for the Beatles? Was it your grandparent? So were your parents Beatles fans, like really truly Beatles fans, or your grandparents? Speaking of old farts, we had talk to us about the family tree of Beatle fans.
Well, my parents personally weren't there, but they were big Beatle fans. So naturally, you get brainwashed into liking the Beatles, and then it becomes a bit of an obsession. Then you start a tribute band. But yeah, grandparents were there. They saw the real deal, and it's just kind of been passed down, which I'm sure is the case for a lot of people.
Do you have any memorabilia that has been passed on, like real authentic Beatle memorabilia from the family?
You'll have it more than me. I don't have anything.
I'm not sure. I'll have to have a look around. I think I've got a few magazines from back in the 60s from like the Beatles fan club. But,
Yeah. I got news for you. The accent hasn't changed much.
Yeah, you know what? I was just going to say, you know what? Let's just talk for you for an hour, and just you guys can read the phone book, and I think we would just love it, you know?
So what are your favorite Beatles songs to sing? Which ones are the hardest ones for you to recreate on stage?
Oh, it's definitely got to be from the late stuff, just because they're so involved. I think one of the hardest ones we've done is "I Am the Walrus."
John Lennon, George, which is confusing.
Yeah, right.
He has to turn into, when we do like "I Am the Walrus," he has to become a full orchestra and the keyboard player on just one keyboard, and it's insane.
It's incredible, you know.
Don't know how he does it.
Wow.
That is pretty impressive.
So do the girls just how I mean, I don't want you to get too personal here, but how has this been for your love life? Because, you know, we see all the girls screaming back in the 60s. Still the same vibe there with you guys?
We've had a couple screamers, yeah.
Some of us got girlfriends from it, so it's worked out all right.
Well, so John Lennon had a girlfriend too, right?
Exactly.
So, are the girls screaming? Are they grandmothers, or are they more your own age?
Some, yeah. All those crazy teenagers from the 60s. But no, we notice it, especially at the Cavern, the amount of people like all ages from all over the world that come down, and it's great to see that everyone loves the Beatles.
Mm.
It is true. Everyone does. I do. You mentioned that you've got a guy. The guy who plays John is actually named George. Does that ever cause any confusion on stage when someone refers to George? Do you not know who he's talking about?
It probably used to, but I think we're all pretty used to being called, you know, John, Paul, George, and Ringo at this point.
Yeah.
Only on the weekends.
Yeah.
So, all right, I got to ask you this. I not only love the Beatles, but I'm also a big English Premier League fan. And Liverpool's my favorite team. So I got to ask you guys, are you Reds or are you Blues?
I'm a Blue.
Okay.
I'm a Red just by default of my family, but I don't really follow football that much.
Do you know what the Beatles, the real Beatles, were? Do you have any idea?
It's
Paul, was Paul a Blue? Can't remember.
I think they support different teams to appeal to the different places they played. So
right.
I don't think there's one set answer. I've heard like Manchester United being chucked in there at some point.
Oh no,
Everton, Liverpool.
That's not good.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah. By the way, for Dave.
Yeah. What are you talking about here?
Are Everton is the other club that is in.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The Everton's in Liverpool as well.
Yes. Yes. In fact, the two stadiums are very close to each other.
Everton is the White Sox equivalent, right?
Yes.
The team that never wins.
Right. Yes.
So did you guys?
No offense.
Well, you guys may not know this. White Sox. You know, we're in Chicago. We have two baseball teams, and the White Sox this year may break the record for the absolute worst record in baseball history, and we're talking 135 years or whatever it is.
Right.
You know, so yes. I feel your pain. Did you guys immerse yourselves with Beatles like history other than just the music to kind of help with the persona at all? I'm just curious. Did you get into character before, or how do you get into character before you go on stage?
Yeah, there's a lot of watching, like live videos on YouTube, interviews. They had the Hard Day's Night and Help films, which kind of make the Beatles into a caricature, which like an audience will perceive the Beatles as, and you've kind of got to be that,
right,
to like meet their expectations. But there's a lot out there that you've got to watch, copy the moves in the mirror,
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's all worth it in the end.
Fill in very big shoes.
Yeah, without question. So, I mean, obviously, this is a big draw. How hard is it to get tickets for the show? If we ever go to Liverpool, do we need to like order weeks in advance?
No, we got an in right now.
Well,
yeah.
for you guys,
Yeah.
for you guys, I'm sure we can get you in for, maybe a discounted price or free because you've invited us to do this, and we're very grateful for that.
Well,
But
that's nice.
for anyone else, our shows actually tend to sell pretty quick, but not like so quick you're not going to get a ticket kind of thing.
Okay.
We've got a website, BeatlesComplete.com, which has all our tour dates on where you can get your tickets. So it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Not biased at all, but it's worth getting.
So you do travel around the UK, I see on your website. But do you ever
Yes.
have you ever left like come to America or gone to the continent and played in?
Have you ever landed in New York in front of hundreds of thousands of kids?
Have you ever
screaming?
played Shea Stadium?
What
Have
about
you-
Ed Sullivan? You ever do that?
We've got something in the works for America, but at the minute we've been to Malta, Belgium, the Netherlands, Spain. We're just going to keep ticking them off as we go along, but hopefully get to America one day.
Well,
Do some great shows there.
if you ever do, you got to look us up because we'll definitely come check out the show.
Oh, definitely.
So, is there a Yoko? Is there a Yoko?
Yeah.
Do one of you have a girlfriend that may be breaking up the band by any chance? Is there anybody who plays Yoko?
There's girlfriends, but they're not quite Yokos, so it's, it all works out.
Not yet. Not yet.
Right,
It
right.
all starts out nice.
Not yet.
Hey, one last tip for you. I know that you're creating the persona. Stay away from the Jesus remark.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I just don't.
Right,
Yeah, just
yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Whoever's
No matter how popular you get.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, just stay away from that entire topic. Okay.
Guys, thank you very much.
we learned that pretty quickly.
Thank you very much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And if we ever come to Liverpool,
God,
we're
it'd be
definitely
great.
going to go to the Cavern Club and check you guys out.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks for having us on.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
I love your ex. No,
Yeah,
keep
you
talking.
guys are very well.
Keep talking. Just sing something. Yeah.
We'll talk to you
All
soon.
right, thanks, guys.
Bye-bye,
Thanks,
guys.
All the best.
Bye. Bye.
There you are.
That's awesome.
From jolly old England.
Wow.
It's just a short little interview, but it's kind of a fun topic that these guys are. They're kids.
Yeah, 17 to yeah, right.
They're younger than our kids.
I know. Well, but George was George 16 when the band
George was 15 when they started playing together, and I think when they were playing in the Cavern Club and stuff, or no, when they went to Hamburg, he was 17, and they actually got deported
'cause
because
he
they
was too
found out he was underage.
Wow. Yeah.
So-
Yeah, can you imagine? What were you doing at 17, 19? Okay, we were juniors in high school.
I know. I was just listening to the song "We Can Work It Out" the other day by the Beatles, and I saw written 1966. So Paul McCartney was 24 when he wrote that. 24.
I know.
And I mean that's a great song.
Well, and then you look at like a lot of these classic English rockers. Like Pete Townsend wrote Tommy when he was 23.
I know.
Whatever, and
I know.
we were living in the pit, waking up at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Where's our Tommy? Where's our White Album?
Right. I think, that's my basement year at 23 when I lived in my parents' basement for a year.
You were composing.
I was. It all came out eventually. It all came. Well, we have people to thank for
Really?
the show.
Has it really come out yet?
Well, I think so. I've written in 9 books now, so that's something.
Nah, I guess that.
Right.
Touche.
Touche. I've done 360 some episodes of Minutia Men.
Good point.
Right.
Yeah.
At this interview, we've done like 150 interviews.
Yeah, you're right.
I do a show about soccer.
Take it easy, Rick. I'm sorry.
Listen, pal.
Yeah, right. There won't be a 361.
Well, we have people to thank for the show. We need to thank Brandon Herman for scoring these
Brandon,
guys.
thank you.
And suggesting the idea. Not
Wonderful.
odd idea. I like it.
Yeah, great idea.
Thanks to Tony Lasano. with Opie Productions, the executive producer of the show. Thank you also to
Ed Silla, who's sometimes referred to as the fifth Beatle.
Is he? Never heard that.
Okay.
He also was in charge of the Radio Misfits podcast.
He's the
network.
distributor.
He is.
Is he our Brian Epstein?
He could be. No, I
Or
think
would Tony would be the
Tony's
Brian
our
Epstein.
Brian
Okay.
Epstein.
Okay.
He's more our George Martin.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Great Talk Radio isn't dead. He just moved to a better place, and that's RadioMisfits.com. And we'll be back again soon with another episode of
Minutia Man Celebrity Interview.
Hey, you know what? Before I end this show, can I do something fun?
Sure.
Do you mind if I play the close like I was supposed to right here?
Okay, there you go.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at RadioMisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?
You got one job.
I know.